everybody, welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Minute. It's your daily show in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate The Last Jedi, one balanced minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Ralph A. Attanasia III from my parents.
Welcome back, Ralph.
It's nice to be back, fellas.
When was the last time we had you on? Did we have you on for Rouge One?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We did a weekend show not too long ago.
Yeah, I've done some weekend ones. I know I was on for the Force Awakens, maybe?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's a mystery. We'll never know the answer to that.
No.
So, but what we will know is minute 51. By the time we're done, we're talking about minute 51 today. It starts off with Rey saying that that same force to Luke, and it ends a minute later with Luke saying, "You went straight to Rey."
Scared straight.
What's your opinion of Hermit Luke?
The Hermit Luke stuff is one of my favorite things about this movie. This movie's very frustrating to me. I have a very complicated relationship with it.
Do tell.
In some ways, I think it's my favorite of the sequels. I think Rise of Skywalker is a misguided mess. And The Force Awakens is kind of just Star Wars greatest hits. Mm-hmm. Like there's not a scene, character, or idea in that movie that isn't an echo of something from the original trilogy. Which is very frustrating to me. But this one this movie had some very mature ideas that are also very in line with my own kind of like philosophy and politics. So I was really jazzed by some of it. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's this, Star Wars is founded on this, like the movies before this one are all entrenched in this like classic dualism. You know, like it's very, very simple. It's light and dark, and that worked really well in the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the prequels made it work less well because the dark side had a lot of things, like the dark side is fueled by a lot of things that we learn about in the prequels that aren't necessarily bad. Do you know what I mean? Like extreme emotion,
right?
Is part of the dark side. That would include joy,
attachments to people,
right?
Right.
There are all these things that, like, it made the Jedi feel very gray, but not in an intentional way. Mm-hmm. It felt kind of careless. It felt like somebody's limited understanding of what makes something good. And so in this movie, they start like, there's this acknowledgement that balance is necessary, but not in a way that the prequels kept going like, oh, Anakin's going to bring balance to the Force. They're like, well, how? How is he going to balance the Force? Well, he's going to kill everything bad. That isn't balance. You know, you don't have passion without temperance. You don't have happiness without sorrow. You don't have those things. That isn't balance. Right. So this movie started to try to explore something much more mature that you couldn't build on without the previous movies. And I was really excited by it. Mm-hmm. And then in the next one, J.J. Abrams came in and went, no, absolutely not.
Again, I feel like I keep going back to this, but to be fair, in the end, he did kind of create balance in the Force by killing all the good guys and making it so there are only two of each.
So did Shmi Skywalker by giving birth to him. So did Watto by shaping his childhood. Like, if you want to do that, you can go back one person every time. I'm sorry, that came across really aggressive, and I didn't mean to talk to you like that, Pete. I apologize.
No,
just
your emotions overtook you.
Feeling, strong emotions.
I'm just gonna red lightsaber some right now. There's gonna be a little R2D2 noise where I said.
One thing I thought of, I really like this part of it where Luke is saying that to say that if the Jedi die, the light dies is vanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like Luke's sort of more. He's almost like not to get all religious on everybody, but he's kind of like the Force's Martin Luther. Like the Jedi are like, hey, we're the Catholic Church. If you want to go to heaven, you got to go through us. And Luke's like, no, you don't have to go through the Jedi. Anyone can communicate with the Force. You know, it's kind of like that. That's sort of a. But Luke also seems kind of torn because he's still very like, no, the sacred texts. He's still very pro. You know, on a deep level, he's still very Jedi.
But that's very Luke.
Yeah.
Because Luke is a whiner.
Yeah.
Oh, my books.
Because Yoda came up behind him and knocked him out of it from under his arm. Luke was carrying the sacred text in the hallway, and Yoda was like, hmm. And then when he went bent over to pick him up, he gave him a wedgie. They don't show you that part in the movie, but
it's funny stuff, though. They should have.
But yeah, I really like Luke's whole, philosophical ramblings here, talking about the Force and all that stuff.
And the Force. Yeah. See, it's a weird back and forth with this too, with the kind of to kind of further add on to what you're saying as far as the feelings of the the treatment of the Force and stuff like that, and the famously, infamously, the prequels introduced us to midichlorians, and Bill, if you back that up, Return of the Jedi kind of introduced all that, the idea of Force is a bloodline thing, which made it kind of less democratized. And here's is this cool between the Force Awakens kind of opened it up a little bit, and then this, mainly in this movie, by saying, hey, like, here's, like, Luke saying, like, no, it's wrong. Like, anybody, the Force belongs to everybody, and, like, you, like, Rey from nowhere can be, you're with the Force.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
I really hoped that was where the whole saga was going. I hoped it was going to be like the end of Shaolin Soccer.
Right.
Where everybody just was it Shaolin Soccer or Kung Fu Hustle, where at the end everybody has special effects karate that they just use for their everyday life. I don't remember which one. I think it's Shaolin Soccer.
Could be. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like at the end of the movie, everyone in the world learns the same Shaolin that the soccer team has, and they use it to make all of their lives better. And I, for sure, after seeing this movie, thought that's where this saga was going. I was like, they're going to open it up. The reason the Force awakened is because everyone was always supposed to have it.
Right.
It would have been.
It wasn't supposed to be for a select monastic few and some zealots who give in to their worst inclinations. It was supposed to be for everyone. And I guess not.
It would have been interesting if in the third movie like was a time jump of like 20 years, and then when you see everyone now is using, like, literally every single person is levitating stuff and floating around and doing all sorts of stuff. Now everyone has the power of the Force.
I would have loved that as like a coda at the end, where like there's everything leads up to sort of a moment in the climax of the movie where everyone realizes that they have access to this power that surrounds and binds all of us. It permeates the entire universe. There's no reason that everyone shouldn't be able to tap into it, except that not everyone has the right microbes.
It's true. Not everyone has the right microbes.
But also, John Williams knocking it out of the park in this minute.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a good I had a note for tomorrow about music, but yes, there's good stuff going on here, because this is totally the we see kind of Rey as she kind of explores this, and she's called to the dark. We see that I wrote Seaweed hole.
Yes. There's some interesting visual stuff happening in this movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the idea that because there's a lot of talk about balance in the Force in this movie, but again, in a way where like it's actual balance. On this island, the Jedi are represented by a tree, and the dark side is represented by a hole, a wet hole. And without being too graphic, they're very phallic and yonic symbols. It's a male and female imagery. which is just more balanced imagery.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. I never thought of it that way before.
Well, and it made me think of the Yoda's, the magic tree at Yoda's house.
Also had a cave.
Right. And that was the, like, do these, like, if you build a Jedi temple, does like a dark side cave just show up one day like a sinkhole, or is it like, I think there part of the story that it's like they build the Jedi temples on the dark side holes to create balance, or what's the?
I would assume that, like, if you go someplace that is strong with the Force, that it's strong with the entire Force.
Right.
Like whenever somebody's saying like, oh, he's very strong with the Force, they're always talking about like the aspect of the Force that's important to them.
Right.
I know that they supposedly built the Coruscant, the Jedi Temple is on top of the ruins of some old Sith temple, so that seems like it was a very conscious effort to replace their thing with that one.
That is a giant, tall building, so there's probably a deep hole underneath that. There's probably like a massive cavern to the center of the earth underneath that building.
Yeah. It's like the one inside of me that I keep trying to fill by buying things.
I think you're almost there. I think a couple of more things and you will find that you are satisfied.
Just gonna fill it with plastic. Look, I got Quill on a blurg.
Oh, nice.
That's gonna help fill that hole.
That sounded so made up. I have Quill on a blurg.
Yeah, look at that. I got Rocksteady. Ninja Turtle Rocksteady. Look at that. Definitely not going to die sad.
But I thought I remember them saying that the reason Yoda went to Dagobah was because the evil tree was there. And so by Yoda being a strong, good Force, it would almost like be a way of hiding, because they would cancel each other out. And then, because otherwise Yoda, I guess, would kind of show up on like a radar blip.
Yeah, you could stop that evil cave from showing people their dads.
One thing I like is that Obi-Wan was teaching Anakin for 15 years or something before he went to the dark side. Luke took like 3 years before he started really being tempted by the dark side, but Rey, as soon as she's there, immediately. So Luke is Luke is the worst Jedi teacher of all, because he created Kylo Ren, and now immediately Rey is drifting to the dark side, having only known Luke for one evening. So
he's not a good teacher, is he?
He was right to get out of the game. Yeah. He just doesn't have the skills.
I mean, he's the best we got, but he's not, and that totally feeds into the storyline with the Hermit Luke thing. Is like, he's not the best Jedi, he's the last Jedi, and he's and it's, he's not going to be that magic hero that that everybody thinks that we need here, because that's not him, and he's a great character because of that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the baggage of like the Jedi Order the way all of those other characters do, which is cool.
Right.
Oh man, so you guys probably know this already, because you're like pretty steeped in Star Wars business. But I found this out the other day and it blew my mind.
Okay.
We were talking about John Williams. You know Augie's Great Municipal Band?
Yeah.
The celebration music from the end of The Phantom Menace?
Of course.
Did you know that the melody to that is the Emperor's theme in a major key?
I found that out not too long ago. I remember seeing something about that. I was like, oh, that's great.
I just found that out like 3 days ago. And there's a YouTube video that plays both of them. They speed up the Emperor's theme, so it's this it's
like Benny Hill,
comparably paced to Augie's Great Municipal Band. And it makes the ending of that movie really chilling. Like, knowing that feels uncomfortable in me. John Williams is a treasure.
So you're going to say,
I wonder if that was his idea, or if Lucas
with a baton right now
told him to do that. Whose idea was it, do you think?
I will bet that was his idea. It's too good an idea. No
way George Lucas could have come up with that.
I don't think there's all kinds of stuff too in that movie that I didn't know about. Like there's just in Duel of the Fates, there's touches of so many other characters, themes and things that are like woven in there that you don't here because it's such a seamlessly good way. We're not talking about the Phantom Menace.
No. Although I will have Augie's Great Municipal Band stuck in my head for probably the bulk of the week. So we'll see. We'll check
I
in.
also want to, while we're talking about the music, I want to direct people to our friend Chrysanthi Tan's podcast, where she focuses solely on the music of The Last Jedi, as the same pace that we are. So
I had no idea that existed, but that's going right in my rotation.
Yeah, once a week. It's a show covering the same 5 minutes that we're covering during that week, but from a musical perspective.
Yeah. That's much more satisfying than doing it like with the movie. You can do a minute because there's so many different aspects to focus on, but with just the music, if you broke it down to 1 minute at a time, that would be infuriating.
Well, because you'd end up with those minutes where it'd be like building up to something and then stop, and then nope, that note that you're looking for that's going to make you happy, that's tomorrow.
Oh God, yeah. If the resolve was like a second after the episode ended, that would be really bad.
So wait, back to the seaweed hole for a second.
Return to the seaweed.
Return to the seaweed hole. We agreed that this is a real place that's there, right? This isn't just like a fabrication. She's not just like kind of imagining that this place exists, and she's kind of like going there in quotes.
It never occurred to me that it wasn't a real, at least, cave.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to look in the visual dictionary to see if there's
the inside of it is, it's all
right.
It's bananas in there, but like,
you think they grow bananas in there?
No. What's real and what isn't is
right.
According to the visual dictionary, it's called the Mirror Cave.
Right.
A natural convergence of energy strong in the dark side of the Force manifests itself on the eastern side of the island.
Oh, the eastern side of the island. That's why.
But also manifests itself. So I don't know if that means it only shows up when someone's there to see it.
As soon as they started a temple, then it's just like, oh, what's that hole over there? Yep.
I know that on the other side of that mirror is Atreyu looking in and seeing Bastion Bucks.
I was going to try to turn it into something about Man in the Mirror, but it's best not to discuss Michael Jackson anymore, right?
Yeah, probably. We're staying nice and relevant for anybody under 30.
Just be glad we're not talking about Ed Wynn and Joey Brown anymore.
Oh, can we talk about Ed Wynn though?
Thirdly, what are we to make of the reverse water shot where Rey the water gets pulled off of Rey? Have we ever seen a backwards? I don't think we've ever seen a backwards shot in Star Wars.
There's a lot of
not like
camera stuff in this scene that is very not Star Wars. Like it's very slow, it's
new Star Wars.
It's new Star Wars, right? Yeah, we talked about that I think last week a little bit with when they're reaching out and seeing the kind of the cycle of life stuff, and you see that kind of going down into the dirt and seeing the animal skeleton, which feels very kind of what I said, like Tim Burton or Wes Anderson kind of
or the Simpsons,
or the Simpsons, where they go through their rafters. But yeah, that the backwards thing, I was going to say of course the main backwards shot that I think of when you say that is the native Tatooine.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think there's any shots that are supposed to be backwards
intentionally.
It is more artistic. But the original, cave hallucination, famous original Rey's cave hallucination.
Wow, good joke.
Is the
pizza real Joker?
Oh, pizza.
Yeah.
But that had for the time the kind of a cinematic language that we hadn't really seen in Star. Granted, it was only like a movie and a half at that point, but it was still, things got a little slow motion and kind of trippy and weird a little bit when Luke went into the magic tree. So, that, being weird it ties in with it. So it's off the wall, but it's normal in being weird.
I have to say, Alex, you stopped me dead with that question. I have no idea.
Oh, what's the deal with the water?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also it's weird because she's still wet after that. So right. I don't know what what we're supposed to take
What
out.
if
One
the-
shot I really like is it was in the trailer, and it was a great trick because I remember in the trailer they had a couple of like shots of like the land and the like very like an aerial shot, and
Mhm.
then they had what looked like a barren landscape, but then you see Ray's hand slam down and hit, and you realize you're actually looking at something super close up. Like I remember that in the trailer really gave you the impression that you were like in another aerial shot, and then you see this giant hand come down, and it's like whoa! It was a great little.
Does Ray become a giant?
Yeah, it's Big Ray. It's the Big Ray.
The Big Ray theory.
Yeah.
As they go on, they just get bigger and bigger. The Jedi, by the end of it, are going to be enormous.
Right.
Just like
They're like
blowing planets to each other.
I'm still surprised we have not seen giants in Star Wars. It seems like such a natural.
Well, Doctor Who was
thing.
really big in Clone War or Rebels.
That's true. Yeah.
He was a big mushroom monkey.
Yeah. What was his name again?
Bogan?
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, I thought Bogan was one of the aspects of the Force. Or maybe that's formerly.
It was going to be.
Right.
But then they I think they recycled that name for that character.
Really? Star Wars recycling names?
Ring theory.
May have been no, I can't. Man, that was too forced. I don't know. Everybody's named Jin in Star Wars. Jin and Ben.
Jin and Ben.
Jin and Ben.
It's not specific to this minute, but it occurred to me while I was researching this minute. The whole. What do you think of Luke Skywalker throwing his retro? Going back a little bit, it was talking about Luke's lightsaber for a second, or Anakin's lightsaber, or Rey's lightsaber, depending on how you want to look at it. I was thinking
Han Solo's lightsaber.
It's true, fair enough. Or the guy who hands Anakin his lightsaber in the arena where he got his in Dothraki arena. Wouldn't it be funny if we learn as the time in between this and I guess the Return of the Jedi is filled in, we find out that Luke is repeatedly coming across his old lightsaber and he doesn't want it, and he's always like, some Ugnaught gives it to him and he's like, I don't want this, it's bad memories, and so he throws it away. And it just keeps, it's like a bad penny that just keeps turning up into his in his life.
I like that he doesn't want it. I do think the moment's clunky.
McClunky.
God damn it, you guys.
You do think it was too like jokey?
I mean, so this movie is tonally inconsistent. It is one of the problems with it because like Rian Johnson,
I think it's Ryan.
Jin Johnson really pushes the boat out on the jokes, like it goes all in. Like there's that big iron, like fake out spaceship landing scene. There's a lot of humor that feels
forced. You can say it.
I was going to say out of place, but the thing it's not all of the jokes land, for one thing. And I think you can cut some of them. But also it feels like he's trying to decide whether it's like he's trying to strike a balance between the kind of very trendy like MCU sort of like, well, let's really get some jokes in this movie, like just because it's not a comedy doesn't mean you can't be throwing a couple of highs. And then there's the rest of the movie is like can be really heavy and tries to deal with some fairly mature themes. Not like, I'm not saying that in the way of like TV ratings, or mature themes means like, nudity and blood, like thoughtful things. So yeah, tonally it feels inconsistent. That's why the movie frustrates me so much, because there's a lot in here that I really like. Thematically, the movie is a really worthy addition to the Star Wars, like the Skywalker saga and the Star Wars mythos. As a movie, like as a piece of entertainment, the pacing is clunky. It feels disjointed. It's very frustrating.
While I was preparing the notes for this week, I totally encountered what you're talking about, because I love all the Rey, Luke, Kylo
Me
Ren,
too.
Snoke stuff, I think is like top of the line Star Wars. And then every now and then you'll cut back and you're like, all right, Finn and going to that stupid casino. So,
And the thing is,
it's,
I don't hate the casino stuff.
right.
I just wish it wasn't in this movie.
The casino stuff feels more Return of the Jedi. And
Right.
Luke stuff feels more Empire.
And
in
it
terms
is
of like the tone.
And it is making a point that's relevant to some of the ideas in this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the movie has a very egalitarian viewpoint, and there's like echoes of like young Anakin and his like childhood in bondage and all this other stuff that you see in that movie, and this inequality in the Star Wars world, which is very relevant to the times that we're living in now, like has something to say. It's frustrating, you guys. It's a frustrating movie.
And it's got high highs and then low lows.
Low.
Yeah.
How many
It was
times
written
did you
by
see it in
Cab
the theater,
Calloway.
Ralph? How many times did you see? What's your last Jedi?
I think twice. I saw this one twice, probably.
I don't remember if I did 2 or 3 times. Pete, what was yours? Have we discussed this yet? How many times did you wind up seeing it?
I can't recall.
I don't
2
think
or
I
3?
saw it in 3 dimensions, though.
I think I did.
One of my very best friends is a guy named Sean. He's like a Star Wars priest. Like Star Wars is his religion.
Mhm.
And this is the one thing in Star Wars that we disagree about, like in a way that if we talk, like we can't talk about it for too long because it threatens our friendship. Like you can feel like bad tension coming out of it.
Mhm.
But he asserts that this is the worst movie in the Star Wars saga. And that is a saga that has Attack of the Clones.
He still maintains that.
Yeah.
Mm. I
Wow.
know people like that too. That's their, we same deal. We agree on a lot of stuff, but then when it comes to this, and it gets heated. So anytime.
Yeah, we don't
comes up,
talk
it's
about
like,
it.
All right.
Sorry, Sean.
Let's talk about politics or religion instead.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
wow.
I don't have any other notes. If you guys have anything else for 51,
We don't
that you
check
wanna
for
talk
51.
about?
There's some stuff that we touched on that I might want to bring back up again tomorrow, but
Yeah, I'd like to get deeper into like the actual. This was good for like just clearing the air about this movie. I think we can get deeper into like the actual minutes in the upcoming episodes.
Hmm.
I'm sorry if I derailed it, you guys. I got
No.
up on my soapbox.
I guess the last thing I want to point out is I'd be remiss if I did not make a reference to you can't do that on television in the scene where Rey is having water, I guess not dumped on her head, pulled out of her, up from her head. So
she doesn't say water first, though, right? She should.
she says it backwards. That's why
Yeah.
it goes up.
Rotoir.
So
Good thing.
Or-
And she's like, "Why are you here?" Like, I don't know. And then boom, she gets slimed. And then...
all right, then I guess that'll wrap up minute 51 of The Last Jedi. And you know how much we love talking about Star Wars. We love it so much we even do it on the weekends. So if you want to hear us do that, go to starwarsminute.com/Patreon. You can become a Patreon supporter, listen to us chat away. And not only do we talk about Star Wars, we talk about a wide range of topics. Hockey, Billy Joel, science fiction books.
It seems like mostly my topics there.
Well, these are all things Pete loves to talk about on the
Mhm.
show while I nod appreciatively and watch
Yeah,
the clock.
Pete's a conversation bully.
So check that out by going to starwarsminute.com/Patreon and check us out tomorrow here on another Star Wars Minute.
Another Star Wars minute.
What?